Peter Mullen here. Now, I'm constantly amazed at some of the resilience that I've been seeing from some of my patients this last couple of weeks, and some of the great tips and stories that I'm hearing. So over the coming weeks, maybe months, I'm going to be sharing with you some really great practical, common sense and sometimes quirky tips that I'm hearing from my patients, friends, and also people who we do business with as well, on how to stay fit, sane and healthy through these times. Now, last week I had a great chat with Shauna Hartley. Shauna owns the Salt Rooms in King Street in Newcastle. And it was a really great conversation that we had. Shauna shared some great information about what she's doing to stay healthy through this time, and a bit about her as well. But her number one tip was about being grateful and sharing that gratitude for things in her own life, but things in the world at large. So I thought that was a great start to this series. So today I'm with a really wonderful patient of mine, Faye, from the far north coast. Good morning, Faye.
Good morning, Pete, and happy Monday morning to you.
Now, Faye, you've been a patient of mine for 9 years.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like a long time, Pete.
Now we're going to go through, we'll have a conversation as we go about some of your great tips and what you're doing to stay healthy through this time. But just as a way of introducing you, Faye, you're involved in the hairdressing industry. You're a business coach, a presenter and a motivational speaker. And you work with over 90 salons and centres. So obviously at this time, there's a lot of upsetness really through all business areas. And I know you've been very busy supporting your industry. What are some of the suggestions or some of the tips that you're giving to your clients about how to stay well through these times?
Pete, I think that obviously staying well covers a whole range of things, but something that I'm extremely mindful of, and I feel that I can contribute to my clients, is making sure that from a social point of view that we stay socially connected. We're hairdressers are social butterflies. We love the social interaction. And that's really what we do all day, every day, is we talk. We talk to people, we have a lovely time with people, and all of a sudden, that disconnection is going to be a huge thing for people. So it's one of the things that I'm working very hard in staying connected. Now, with the 90 salons that I work with, they're all over Australia, and some are small salons, some are people that have maybe 2 or 3 staff, and some have got 20 staff, and some have got multiple salons. So there's a real wide variety of people. Now, the hairdressing industry is still allowed to trade. And of my 90 salons, I've still got about 12 salons trading, and the others have made the decision to shut down. And the decision they've made primarily because their staff didn't feel comfortable in coming to work and servicing clients in such close contact.
Yes.
Or they're staying open, they've made that decision because of that, or because of the fact that they just didn't have enough clients. Those that have decided to stay open, because a lot of clients, last week, Hairdressing Land was really funny. It was the busiest week that hairdressers have had since Christmas, because everyone went, oh my goodness, I have got to get my hair done. Now, ladies, Pete, ladies are going to still look good in 3 months. I'm not sure about what you're going to look like if you don't have a haircut for 3 months.
I am worried that my fringe might get into my eyes and I won't be able to see, but I think I might just be able to brush that back, or I don't know, come up with another.
We could put a little clip in it, Pete, maybe. A little. I can find some little clips to put in.
Now, Faye, so talking about staying connected, because obviously, with the new government news out, or the new news out today from the government that we can only meet in groups of 2, obviously, even socially, that's really restricting us so much further. What are some of the tips you're recommending to your clients about how to stay socially connected?
Okay, I'd like to talk first about what we're talking about in terms of staying connected with your team. Because imagine a hairdressing salon that has maybe 8 staff, and as of last Friday or Saturday, those people are not going to come to work every day. So some of my guys have got some really creative things happening, and we're going to add to these. For example,
sorry, just for a second. I think what you're saying there is a really good point. I think us as business owners need to realize that there's two groups of people in our immediate business worlds that we need to keep in constant contact with. And that, number one, is our staff, because when life returns to normal, we're going to want our staff to be happy and enthused to come back to work. So I hadn't made that distinction before, that it's staff and our patients in our terms, and staff and clients in your
clients, absolutely. And could you imagine, Pete, because you've got the most amazing team here, could you imagine if you said, look, you know, you're going to be unfortunately stood down because we don't have patients coming into the clinic, and you know, I may not have work for you for 4 months, so I'll let you know the week before we're ready to start work and we'll connect again. Could you imagine not having connection with Mary and with Hannah and with all those people that are special? So there has to be something in place where business owners have some ideas about connection. So virtual gym classes are happening in my world, where people are connecting through whatever medium and they're doing their gym classes together. One of my girls went out and bought some art supplies, and they're doing an art class. Some of them are doing sing-song lessons together. You know, this sort of crazy thing that makes you laugh, that makes you have fun, whatever it is. If you've got children, they're doing get the kids together on Facebook Live or on one of the mediums, so that you can actually have some fun. But I want it to be about having fun with each other on your team. Now, those business owners that don't have a connecting page, a messenger page or a Facebook page to talk to their people about and encourage all their staff to put ideas and things on. Most people in my industry do that anyway, but a lot of other people wouldn't. But stay connected, talk to your team, pick up the phone, give them a ring, because social media is one way of staying connected, but we need to be actually talking to people. We need to be having conversations.
And I think that's important for us as business owners as well, that it's important for us to stay connected as much as it is for you know, our staff. So I think and getting the staff involved to come up with some great ideas, I think, is a really good tip.
Yeah. One of the things that I chose to do very early in the piece, I made a decision to ring 2 people a day who are perhaps industry contacts that I don't talk to often, maybe friends that they're friends, but you know how those special friends you go, I don't connect with often enough. And I've made 2 calls every day, and gee, they've been nice calls. And what I've said is, I'm just ringing to give you a virtual hug and have a chat. And everybody goes, oh, that's so nice. And I was kind of thinking these would be 5-minute calls, but they're all half an hour.
Fantastic.
And it's really nice.
I think that's a really good point. Like second point about connection is that we need to have a plan in place. You know, for sure, like we're connecting with the people, with our families and loved ones that we live with, but I think it is a great idea to actually have a plan in place. And one of my friends has organised drinks, or, you know, virtual drinks this Friday night. So we're all going to dial in at a certain time while we all sit at home. And I know a few people are doing that, but it's actually a really fun thing to give a go. So, yeah.
That's a great idea. Yeah, virtual wine tasting. How would that be, Pete? You and I and our group of friends would love to do virtual wine tastings. We could all show off what we like.
The problem is, Faye, does virtual wine tasting mean that you just imagine that you're drinking the wine, or are we actually drinking the wine while we're online?
What do you reckon, Pete? We'd have to drink it. We'd have to taste it, wouldn't we?
Plan B. Definitely plan B.
Plan B. Pete, can I go back to just some ideas? That's about connection with your staff and connection with your patients or your clients or your customers. Think of ways to stay connected, because again, imagine somebody's not going to come into your business for several months, and that can be through what we're doing here is a way for you to connect with your patients in a way that's nothing really about natural medicine, or I'm sure we'll talk about something there, but it is just a way to stay connected. So think outside the circle about your customers and your clients, and think of ways that you can stay connected.
Fantastic, Faye. Now, a bit about you and your health. What have you been doing, or what are you currently doing to keep well through these times?
Well, Pete, your interview that you did with your client last week or recently,
Yes.
yes, Lorna. Lorna said something that is in my head and it's not going to leave my head. She said, we will either come out of this fitter or fatter. Now, I can't afford to get fatter.
Actually, that wasn't Shauna. That was from a story another client of mine had mentioned. Kylie.
Is that what it was?
Giving me
So
that
I am like most females. I can't afford to get fatter because I have the biggest wardrobe that you can ever imagine, and I can't afford to go out and buy a new wardrobe. So we have a treadmill in our garage, and I haven't used that treadmill for quite some time. I had to dust it off, and we had to move the wine bottles from around the bottom of it so it was safe to use. And I'm now I started off doing 30 minutes. I'm now up to, I did 42 minutes yesterday. And I'm listening to podcasts as I'm doing it because I get bored stupid on a treadmill just looking at a wall. So that's one of the things I'm doing. My partner Brian and I are pretty mean cooks. We like to cook, and we can take our hand to most things. So we made a decision that every day or every evening we were going to cook something special, nice, that often my lifestyle doesn't allow me time to do. I'm, often busy, and I'll throw something together that's healthy, but it doesn't take an hour to make. So, for example, we made some homemade gnocchi the other night. That's pretty flash, isn't it? We haven't done that for about 2 years. And I'm not sure how healthy the sauce was we put on it, but it was beautiful. And last night I did a green mango salad, and we had that with smoked trout. Now, if you do anything Asian, it takes you an hour to chop everything up. But we decided to do this, and we sit at the kitchen bench and we talk and we have a little glass of wine. And it's a really nice thing to do. But I'm very conscious of I'm going to be fitter. I'm not going to be fatter at the end of this period.
Fantastic, Faye. And I think it's a really good tip through this time. Like that, one of the I've said in some of the earlier posts that I did when I've been at the supermarket with Dana. There's so many shelves that are bare with the pasta and the rice and everything, but when you get to the fresh fruit and veg aisle, it's absolutely chockers.
Mm-hmm.
The prices may have gone up on some things, but like there's still plenty of fresh fruit and vegetables and salad and good quality meats available. Have you seen? There's a very funny post going around on Instagram of a young girl called Layla. Have you seen that post?
No, tell me.
Well, actually, I'll get, when we finish up, I might get Gabrielle to put a link to it at the bottom, but it's a mum talking to her daughter about all the takeaway shops and takeaway places that have closed. And the daughter's beside herself, and then the mum ends up, I won't spoil it anyway, but
okay.
We'll put it underneath that, because I think, number one, preparing food from scratch is just a great place that we're all getting back to. And it's that Mediterranean style of, cooking and food is about connection and family and, albeit like very smaller gatherings maybe than what we're used to.
Very small gatherings.
Thank you.
That's my pleasure, Pete. Now, I will always talk over you, Pete, so you just have to, you thought you were conducting this interview, but I'm in charge. Something else I just thought of I wanted to share. Everybody who knows me knows that, I'm not domesticated. I'm not a gardener. I don't wash cars. I don't do any of those things.
You're more free range, you're saying.
I'm free range. But I have a wonderful neighbour called Mary. And we have a space between our houses that we have a little herb garden there normally. And we have some lovely herbs that we pick. And Mary maintains it. It's our herb garden, but she does 99%. And my contribution is to pick the things and eat them. Well, Mary's decided to put some vegetables in. And she had a man from a nursery come out and bring out a whole lot of things. So she's planted all these wonderful vegetables that I'm going to be able to pick and use. So I'm so excited about that as well. So if you've got a neighbour, maybe you can do a little communal garden.
A great idea, Faye. And I want to see some footage. And maybe Mary, if she's listening, can take some photos of you actually out doing some of the hard work in the garden, not just reaping the benefits.
Oh, Pete, I water. I'm good at that. I'm really good at that. No, I'm not. There's no way I'm going to try and do anything else. I tried to stake up a tomato bush the other day, and Brian said to me, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I needed to stand up. The tomatoes are all on the ground." And he just went, "Leave it to me." So I was happy.
Now, Faye, we're up to the fast 5 questions.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
I didn't know I was going to get 5 questions, but go.
Favourite exercise?
Oh, Pete, I have to say, no, tap dancing. Oh my gosh, which I can't do at the moment, but I normally tap dance. But my favourite exercise at the moment, it has to be the treadmill because it's the only one I've got. However, I will do some walking.
You could do...
But I want to walk in the sun as well, Pete, because I know vitamin D is very good for us. So, yeah, I will do some walking in the sun as well.
Now, Faye, these are called Fast 5 because you're supposed to answer them quickly.
Oh, I'll try.
Number 2, favourite vegetable that you're helping to grow?
Oh, yeah, cabbage.
Favourite splurge? And I think we all know this one.
Oh, yeah, you know what? A really nice gin, but I only have one, but a good gin with good mixes.
Their favourite health supplement?
Oh, Pete, Brain Energy, which I absolutely swear by. It's one I would never do without. And the other one is the Android NK. I'm taking 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. You can explain the benefits of those far better than I do, but I just know you said to me, Faye, this is essential, and anything you say, I do.
And Faye, favourite naturopath?
Oh,
Remember,
there's
it's quick.
a guy called Peter Mullen. No, Pete, you're amazing, and you've in the last 9 years, I've had 1 day off sick, and you know I just don't get sick because I'm so good at looking after my health, even though I have a crazy life. I know that wasn't a one-word answer. Sorry.
All good. Now, Faye, just to finish up with, what is your number 1 health tip for everyone listening today?
Pete, I think as well as eat healthy and follow all the rules that everybody needs to do, it is keep your mind healthy, stay connected, laugh, have some fun, which is challenging. Surround yourself with positive people. How's that?
That's fantastic, Faye. Thank you so much for coming on the program this morning. And we'll definitely get you back further on to check in with you rather and see how you're going with everything. But thank you so much. That's been really inspirational, Faye.